Looking for financial support that strives to honor your community's rich heritage and cultural practices? Introducing RBC Origins. Our Indigenous banking specialists provide resources and advice that can help transform your ideas into tangible progress and community prosperity. At RBC, we're committed to driving your goals forward. Learn more at rbc.com/indigenous. RBC, ideas happen here.
I'm Rick Harp. This is your APTN News Brief for Tuesday, August 5th. We lead off in northern Manitoba, where for the second time in less than a month, wildfires have prompted the evacuation of the Nisichawayasihk Cree Nation. And at least 2 fires burned north of Nisichawayasihk, one of them now 46,000 hectares in size. On Saturday, about 300 high-priority members left as a precaution, followed by a full evacuation order the following day due to poor air quality and the risk of closure of Highway 391, the only road in and out of Nisichawayasihk to Thompson. Now, many of the nation's 3,000-plus evacuees have ended up in Winnipeg, some 660 kilometers away, at the city's RBC Convention Center. In a statement, Chief Angela Levasseur said, quote, "As we continue this evacuation together, we ask every parent, grandparent, guardian, and caregiver to please keep a close eye on your children," unquote. Now, of course, they're just among the hundreds of wildfires in Western Canada, and smoke from them have now generated special air quality statements and warnings. Marked by extremely high levels of air pollution, such warnings from Environment Canada cover parts of the Northwest Territories, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. Meanwhile, less risky but still poor quality air now affects parts of BC, Alberta, and Quebec. Conditions are expected to get a bit better today and tomorrow in some spots. Otherwise, Environment Canada recommends people limit their time outdoors for the time being.
People really want to avoid outdoor activities and being outdoors when those air quality index ratings are so high. It is really dangerous, especially for those people who have respiratory illness, or heart disease, or various other kinds of medical conditions to be outdoors during conditions of that smoky weather. We really try to advise people to stay indoors as much as possible, use your aircon or air purifier if you have one.
A new partnership promises to bridge the gap in healthcare access for residents of northern Saskatchewan. And as Rachel May reports, it involves some made-in-Canada technology.
There'll be opportunities now for the medical professionals, doctors, nurses, lab techs, and so on and so forth, to be able to help with prognoses and to help address some of the healthcare from even the remote areas of our province.
Secretary of State for Rural Development Buckley Belanger says new technology coming to northern Saskatchewan will give residents access to health care in their own communities by helping health professionals reach communities they couldn't before.
So these are tools meant to assist them and so they can make their prognosis and understand the patient's needs better, quicker. And that's the whole effort here.
Dr. Ivar Mendez is director of Virtual Health Hub, one of the companies using technology to bring the North and South closer together. He says medicine now offers better options for patients who can't see a doctor in person.
AI, robotics, improving telecommunications, and the shift since the pandemic, both the provider and the patient, that virtual care is a way of delivering healthcare.
Currently, the Virtual Health Hub operates out of Saskatoon, but through a partnership, a new virtual health center is set to open on Whitecap Dakota First Nation in February 2027, providing space for doctors, nurses, technologists, and more. Whitecap Chief Darcy Bear says the technology worked well when they put a virtual health hub in a long-term care home.
1 month they would have had 58 emergency room calls. They would have sent 58 of the residents to emergency room. But because of the having the remote health presence there and the doctor, the physician was available remotely to work with the nurses inside the Parkridge care home, only 8 people had to go to the emergency room.
Chief Bear says he's proud to be a part of the project and excited to see its continued growth.
This is not just about Saskatchewan working in isolation. We're working with the world and bringing that better health care to Saskatchewan, to all of our citizens, and again, eventually this going global to all Canadians.
Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
The Na-Cho Nyak First Nation has reached a new land use agreement with the Yukon government. It will see the two parties create a land use plan for roughly 7% of the territory. Said to be a shared blueprint, it's meant to reduce or avoid conflict between different interests. The plan is to reflect the rights and responsibilities of Na-Cho Nyak and support sustainable development. Its proposed boundaries, spanning some 35,000 kilometers, fall entirely within the First Nations' traditional territory. The MOU marks the fourth such land use plan to be initiated under the territory's umbrella final agreement. And finally, the general election for the Mohawk Council of Gunnesadauga has been postponed. Set for this past weekend, people were notified the day before the scheduled vote, a move that generated some negative reactions online. And under their custom electoral code, current council mandates have now been extended for up to another 6 months. Graham Drew is the chief electoral officer. He told APTN News it can take up to 6 months to carry out a rescheduled election. He says during that period, the community will be invited to share feedback on flaws with the current electoral code. Drew says multiple issues made an election unworkable at this time, including the fact 3 of the candidates have criminal records.
I received 19 affidavits at the time of deadline, and I reviewed those. And 3 of the nominees, the applicants, had prior criminal convictions according to court records. And so it appeared that they had falsified their information on the nomination form, because I states very specifically, like we literally copy and paste the eligibility criteria from the code into the nomination forms. In this case, there was 3 individuals that it turned out they said that they didn't have any prior criminal records.
And that's your APTN News Brief for Tuesday, August 5th. I'm Rick Harp.